is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Now today I've got a couple of things to show you, but do come along and check out my website. It's called ArtAlien.tv. There's loads of stuff on here. You can check out the Mars plants, the sphinxes, the doorway. This is the most recent viral video. And all the officials are still in denial about this, and are still claiming this is just a crack in the rock. Does that look like a crack to you? Doesn't look like one to me. And when you actually see it up close, if you follow the links here, you will find the gigapans to all these things as well. So you can check these things out up close and make your own mind up. About 96% of the mainstream media and all the scientists, their so-called scientist friends, are all issuing denials about this, saying it's just a crack. Cracks do not have this type of symmetry, okay? And if this was on Earth, no one would be saying this is a crack. Nobody. It's only because this thing's on Mars they're saying that. If this was on Earth, they would not be saying that. So what we're dealing with here is not scientists. What we're dealing with are a bunch of politicized xenophobes who are either in culture shock or they're being paid, like sock puppets are, to deny anything to do with possible alien life, okay? And it doesn't matter how good the evidence is, and this is good evidence. It doesn't matter how good it is. We have sphinxes, we have things on the ground, we have remains, we have pyramids, we have doorways, we have all sorts of things. Some very large, some very small. It doesn't matter how good these things are, how sharp the images are, how clear the images are of these anomalies on Mars. It doesn't matter how good they are. These people will still come along and issue denials, whatever we find. Because these people are politicized and they're being paid to tell you what they're telling you. Okay, there's a lot of assets that I think these people have on Mars or about to be on Mars in the future, and they're protecting them, okay? Because when they go up there in numbers, when they send actual people to Mars, they will be robbing all these things and bringing them possibly a lot of them back to Earth eventually to sell them, okay? That's what's going to happen. There are so many artifacts in Gale Crater. Some of them are gold as well, which I've shown. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to rob these things and bring them back to Earth and sell them for millions and millions of dollars, or even billions of dollars, who knows? Because when you have super rich people like Elon Musk going there, and you've got super rich people like Jeff Bezos, these people are so rich, they already have everything they want, okay? If you have everything you want, and there's nothing else you want, what else is there? Alien art, gold items, figurines made of gold, that kind of thing. Alien remains. These things, these artifacts would have greater value than anything. And owning them would give you even more of an elitist position, okay? So come and check out this as well. This was really cool. This interview with Mikhail Kaku with Joe Rogan is really interesting, and he goes into some detail about why there's been a paradigm shift in the way the public are being spoken to about UFOs. We're still being patronised and lied to about Mars, of course, and probably will be for another 10 or 20, 30 years, because there are vested interests on Mars of people going there and possibly bringing back some of the artifacts and selling them for billions of dollars or millions of dollars or something like that. People like Elon Musk, perhaps, Jeff Bezos maybe as well. These people will become the most rich. They're already the richest people on Earth. They will become the richest people in our part of the universe, probably, because they will be selling artifacts from Mars and making even more money, selling some of the gold figurines and burial masks and objects that I've shown on the ground, okay? That's probably what they will be doing. So these people will be even richer and have even more of an elitist position, and Elon Musk will probably be king of Mars. He won't be the first and he won't be the last, okay? Because these things are genuine. The door on Mars is not just a crack, okay? They're only saying this is a crack because they're protecting their assets, okay? And the people in the media are going along with this. 98% of them are. As I expected when I sent this to the press, I expected most of them to go into denial syndrome alien denial syndrome, as I call it. But what they're actually telling us is that what we see isn't real, okay? If you spot something, it's not real until a scientist says it's real. That's what they're trying to say to us, which is BS, of course. And they will probably keep up this facade for at least another 5 or 10 years. They may claim to find some traces of life, plant life or something in the Jezero crater soon, who knows, in the next year or two, maybe. But it would be so small and insignificant that most people would just ignore it, when we have very good examples of previous life on Mars, like this doorway, okay? And it may only be a foot tall. It's actually a little bit bigger than that when you measure it from here, okay? And it's perfectly rectangular. Cracks in the rock are not perfectly rectangular, and I don't care who says they are. I don't care if it's some planetary geologist or whatever who says that this is a crack. I don't care, because they're lying and they're BSing us, and they've been BSing us for decades. They were BSing us for decades about UFOs, and now they're finally starting to admit it, but they're still denying all the stuff about Mars, which we've known since the 70s, a lot of it, okay? Which is a long time, okay, since the mid-70s. So there we are. So come and check these out. I'm briefly going to show you this one today. This is what looks like a carved head on the surface. This is Sol 678. Now, I have shown this before once or twice, but only very, very briefly in a sort of compilation video a couple of years back, 3 or 4 years ago. So I thought I would do a very short clip on this, because this is another undeniable artifact, okay? And there are lots of these in the area, which I've shown before. And this is one of the better ones. This is quite large. Now, look at the detail. Let me zoom in. Now, this is the new clip I did here. You can see it there. You can see what it is. Very strange facial expression. What looks like hair detail on top. This is probably a carving, but it's got interesting colour to it. Right. Interesting colour. And here's the older clip I did. This is one I did originally. Now, these tracks are 20 inches wide. You can see the tracks on the ground. So that gives us an exact size for this, because the tracks can be used as a ruler. That's 20 inches from there to there, just there. And then we have quite a large head right by the track here, which is unusual. We don't normally see them that close to the track, so we can't measure them exactly. But with this, we've got an exact ruler there. That's 20 inches. I would say this is about 8 inches wide and about 10 or 11, maybe 10 high, because it's about half the width of that. Okay, so you can use that as a ruler. That line there, that's 20 inches. And this is about 8 by about 10, possibly 10 and a half, 11. Okay, there it is. If you use the magnifier, it's pretty clear. It's not that close to the rover, so it's a bit fuzzy. It's a bit out of focus, like most of these images are, although not all of them. Some are, some aren't. There it is. You can see the eye, you can see the nose coming down, you can see the mouth, gaping mouth. Okay, but this enhancement down here is brighter. You've got the raw one here. There's the raw image, completely raw. It's a little bit grungy and dark, but you can see what it is. Okay. Just because the images aren't brilliant, some of them, doesn't mean these things are not there. That's another excuse NASA twonks will use to say that these things don't exist. Oh, the image isn't very clear. Well, why the hell don't you recalibrate the camera then, you plonker? You know, these people work for JPL and NASA are dissing their own bloody robot on Mars. They're dissing their own images, and they're actually shooting themselves in the foot every time something like that doorway or something like this comes along. They're actually destroying trust in their own institution by lying to us, okay? Why are they doing this? What is wrong with these people, you know? They take billions of dollars in taxpayers' money and then lie to us, right? There it is. Even in the raw image, you can see the gaping mouth, you can see the nose, you can see the eye, quite clearly there. And it's better to look at it down here because I've brightened it up a lot more. Okay, there it is. Pretty undeniable, I would say, but I'm sure the Banana Brigade, the Pareidolia Police, and the Square Wheel Society will come along and say this is just pareidolia. The Banana Brigade, I call them I call them that because basically they're the sort of people that if you put a picture of a banana up on social media, they'll come along and say it's an apple or an orange or something. There are people that are basically sock puppets. And a lot of the pareidolia police are also sock puppets. Or they're being paid basically by JPL or NASA or somebody, some kind of nefarious political group probably, to come along on social media and say that all this stuff's fake, or they often pose as flat earthers or square wheel society, as I call them. And they come along and they put comments on everything saying, oh, this is just a rock, it's just like looking faces in the clouds, that sort of thing. This is not a cloud, this is a solid object. In fact, it can be seen in other sols as well, not just this one. You can see it from further away, in quite a few images actually. But this is the closest view we got. There's also this weird thing here with two eyes, right? And here's the clip of that over here. It's right up in the corner. Just there. So there are carvings all over this area. And even though it's quite flat here, there were burials and probably structures below the sand, and some of it's all just kind of eroded away, leaving some of these things showing. So there may be burial markers or something like that. There are over 100 of these I've shown in the area, just carved ones. And there's well over 100 actual remains as well, skulls and that kind of thing. So they are in the area. There's this one as well, which is a bit weird. I can't really make it out. It seems to have two blue eyes and a weird sort of mouth, but that may be just an optical trick, not really sure. Can't really make out what it's supposed to represent. It looks very strange. It's near this, so it may be something significant, I don't know. But what's cool about this is we've got an exact size. This would fit nicely into that doorway because this is 10 to 11 inches high and about 8 wide. Okay. Let's also have a quick look at this one. This is Sol 459. This is the Perseverance rover, not the Curiosity rover like the last one I showed you. And we've got a nice ridge here with what looks like a ruin. I've shown this before. And we've got these nice blocks here. Look at these blocks. Is that artificial? Kind of looks it to me. We've got a platform here with blocks on top. Very interesting. There's this weird thing here. Don't know what it is. Might just be a piece of rock or something. Strange detail. And a lot of people are posting videos and stuff about this. This is like a little head. Now that may just look like a rock stuck to this, but if you take a real close-up of it, there is eye and mouth detail on this, or nose detail. You can't see it in this very well, but if you go to the individual images and enhance it, you will see some facial details on this thing. But it's really far away, and it's not very big, unfortunately. But it does seem to have two eyes and a nose. Just about make out. But that may actually be pareidolia. So the pareidolia police are welcome to call that pareidolia, because we're not close enough to determine whether it is or not. Right? So the Banana Brigade can have that one, I think, for now, until we get a close-up of it. This is Sol 459, mass left, and this is very recent. And what we have here is what looks like some fake sand. Now, it may not be, but look at the way this sand has an outline here up against this rock. It's also a bit kind of smudged or blurred there. I don't think the blurring's deliberate. I think that's just where it's out of focus. Because what's happened here is the camera's focused on this part of the rock, and that part is further away and it's slightly out of focus. Okay? But it looks fake. Look at it. Really weird. I spotted that straight away and I thought, that doesn't look right to me. Now, I'm not saying all this is fake. I'm just saying this bit looks fake. Here. As if someone's kind of pasted it over some text or glyphs or something on this rock. Because often on these flat slabs that we see glyphs and motifs carved into them. Okay? And this may be a case of that. So maybe they spotted something really blatant there, the people at JPL, and just pasted some sand over it. And then tried to sort of blend it in a little bit there, but sort of did a really bad job. It's weird. It's very weird the way this is done. It doesn't make any visual sense the way that sticks to that there, as if someone's glued it on. You know, it's very odd. So I'm not sure about that. Is that fakery? I don't know. Come to Mars Magazine on Facebook. Loads of stuff to flick through here. Loads of interviews and things to watch as well. Check out my website, like I said. There's loads of stuff here. Loads of categories. There's plants, there's giant sphinxes, there's vehicles, there's all sorts of things like wreckage and statues and things all over the place on Mars. So if you're new to this channel, come along and have a look. You will be blown away by it. And don't listen to the mainstream media when it comes to this. They know nothing of the subject. They have not researched these areas like I have, and a few other researchers have. They are faking it and trying to protect the assets and future assets of certain billionaires and organisations. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're being paid to protect their assets. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you soon.